And I use it for chain stitching, blanket stitching, lazy daisy stitches, spiders. These are little spider stitch flowers.
Well, you know, it's what makes this so special is the work that you do with the Lana.
Yeah. I think it's a way of really personalizing a design. It's, you know, putting your own little ideas, you know, and embroidering. You can write little things and then stitch over them.
Tell me about the thread collections. How did you choose your colors?
It was a very difficult choice.
I would imagine when there are how many?
12. Only 12 out of
what's the line now?
192. And I nearly cried when I was told I could only have 12.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, cruel. And I chose the colors that I use the most often in my designs and the ones that I think are just absolutely essential to a collection of wool threads. This is the absolute all-timer that you cannot survive without this color. This is called Funky Mustard.
Funky Mustard.
Which is a horrible name. It's actually, for me, aged bronze.
Oh,
and it's a beautiful vintage antique color that goes with practically everything that you
really?
Yeah.
Really?
So this is my favorite color. There's an assortment of greens for autumn winter designs, black for folk art. It has to be pink because everybody likes it pink. Beautiful oranges, pumpkin colors, and then there's a garnet color, a burgundy color, and an old rose color as well. So I think it's a good selection out of 192 colors.
That's right. And would these be the kinds of threads you would use in your book?
Yeah. Most of these colors I use all the time. I've been very lucky to publish my first bilingual book in French and English. It's a collection of folk arty, penny rug style designs, mixing wool, felt and fabric and using exclusively Lana threads. And some of the designs are here that I can show you.
This is absolutely stunning.
Okay. This is a little table center which it's all hand embroidered with a double thread.
A double thread.
Yeah, and I really like to use a double thread for most of the stitching that I do, particularly the blanket stitch. But you can also use it, of course, as a single thread. And when you're using smaller pieces or smaller motifs, the single thread works really, really nice. Double thread for the blanket stitch.
This shows
the
thread as you're using it.
Yeah.
Oh, those are wonderful.
And
this is adorable.
This is my Lana box. This is where I keep all my precious Lana colors.
Oh, how nice.
So, and it's all stitched with Lana.
Oh, great. How can people get your thread collection?
They can get it here from Orifil, but they can also get it from Brewer, who are distributing my designs, and they will also be distributing the wool kits as well. So.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for showing us what you've done with these wonderful threads.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more. I'm here with a star at Quilt Market, Aditya Sitar. It's always wonderful to see you, and I'm so glad to visit with you in the Orifil booth.
Thank you, Jody. It's so nice to see you too. I would love to share a little trick of mine with you.
Okay.
My little secret, I call it. It's my newest threads from Orifil. I love my Orifil thread for many, many years, and I use it in any of my projects. I love from my paper piecing. Notice the beautiful seam, how fine they are and how easy it is to pull the paper away. Especially with paper piecing where you do not have a choice where the seam goes. It is important not to build up a lot of threads into the seam. This thread, Orifil, gives me a perfect result. Look at on my hand piecing. I use
pretty?
Yes, on my Orifil I use my Orifil thread to hand piece my projects as well. I love it because it does not twist as I'm using it. So my stitching comes up to be a beautiful and pleasant experience.
And that's the nature of how it's made.
Yes,
the twisting issue. Yep.
Yes, and also, not only I love my Orifil thread, but my sewing machine do it as well. I have half the length in my sewing machine that I ever did. I absolutely love that. As a quilter, I love to have a pleasant experience. All the colors that I chose for my beautiful kit goes with any of my colors right here. In my new book, I tell you how to use the beautiful thread to piece little half square triangle and have a fun triangle exchange in your stores. It is also perfect, and I just started doing that to quilt over some of my small project, my raw edge applique project. it looks stunning.
With this weight thread, not a
Yes,
heavier one.
not a heavy one.
Ah.
I like it because it just gives me the echo where the quilting is. You do not visually have to see it. It just gives you a beautiful accent. I love everything that this thread does for me. I say to my husband, if I have to be on an island, I'm sorry, honey, you're staying home.
No.
I'm taking my thread with me.
Well, then you love it this much that you'd like to buy it in this size?
I would love that, but for today, you can get it in a smaller version. This box is perfect for any quilters that say has everything. This will add it to their collection, to the perfect thread, and they can use it in any of the project. I use it in all my projects. From a start, when I start piecing the simple squares to a finished edges on my binding, this
all
thread,
Aurifil.
yes, it's all Aurifil, and it gives me a perfect result. So for today, those are my little secrets.
Okay.
And I shared it with you and everybody else that would love to enjoy the beautiful thread.
Well, thank you for sharing your secrets. Try some Aurifil thread. It really is wonderful, and it makes your quilting and sewing so much more fun, and the results better.
I absolutely love it. And just to remind everybody, you must have the light and the dark. Those are your staples. The other colors are beautifully complement and bring it up to the darker shades that you needed to finish a beautiful quilt. Start and finish beautiful quilt.
Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching QNN TV.